It's really about developing consumer intimacy. Because we can all talk about knowing who our brand, who our customers are, and that's fine, but you can have a superficial knowledge or you can have a really deep, intimate knowledge of who your consumer or your customer is. And that really gets back to understanding their values in terms of what they think is important, what they think is really not important. What motivates them to do the things they do? What are the things that are going to ultimately make them be a believer in your brand versus not? What messages will turn them off completely versus draw them in? How to speak to them on their terms, right? The hows, the whats, the whens. All those things are critically important in today's environment where the target consumer is getting bombarded with so many different messages, so many different ways. What I try to focus on was what I believe to be 3 core principles for winning in the marketplace that kind of help circumvent all of that chaos. And that's really about knowing your brand in terms of what your brand stands for, knowing and really knowing in an intimate way your customers and your consumers, and ultimately bringing that knowledge to life 24/7. The Red Baron brand is all about pizzeria taste in minutes. So it's interesting, you've all seen DiGiorno, right? For 15 years, they've been very consistent with their message, right? It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. So they're comparing themselves over and over again to the delivery pizza experience. I give them great credit for sticking to their guns and having that same message be what DiGiorno stands for all the time. But how many people out there think that delivery experience is fantastic? What? Nobody thinks the delivery experience is fantastic. Okay, it's interesting. We don't either. So we're happy to have DiGiorno continue to play in that space because we frankly think that's their Achilles heel. We're going to take Red Baron and make it even better than that. We're going to make it about delivering pizzeria quality in minutes at home. So the big idea last year was giving her the chance to get a free game of bowling on the back of our Tony's packages. How many people have a general idea of how much a bowling game costs these days? Anybody a bowler out there? Oh, that's a big endorsement for bowling. I think we had one hand go up back there. Well, to give you an idea, an average game of bowling costs $5. An average Tony's Pizza costs about $2.50. Okay, so when you're buying a Tony's Pizza, you can buy something that also gives you an intrinsic value of $5 additional in this particular instance when you're buying a free game of bowling. Was a great example of understanding what our core strengths and competencies were as an organization in terms of how to bring that to life with our DSD sales force, but also then finding a really intrinsic value message that resonated with that core Tony's consumer because they bought a lot of pizza while at the same time we gave them a way to actually enjoy their families and do something they frankly wouldn't have had the money to do otherwise. So it was really kind of a win-win for both of us.